Maybe a brand new day, viewers, but the situation in West Asia seems to be continuing to be the same. And now we have breaking news with regards to US having issued temporary 30-day waiver to allow for sale of Russian oil currently stranded at sea to India to alleviate the pressure on global oil market. Two senior US officials have come out to report this. Now, President Trump's energy agenda has resulted in the oil and gas production reaching the highest levels ever recorded. To enable oil to keep flowing into the global markets, the Treasury Department is issuing a temporary 30-day waiver to allow Indian refiners to purchase Russian oil. This deliberately short-term measure will not provide significant financial benefit to the Russian government, as it only authorizes transactions involving oil already stranded at sea. India is an essential partner of the United States, and we fully anticipate that New Delhi will ramp up the purchases of US oil. This stopgap measure will alleviate the pressure caused by Iran's attempt to take global energy hostage. This is what we are learning at this point of time. In fact, the Russian envoy to India yesterday, in an exclusive conversation with India Today, had also said that Russia is in fact ready to help India with its energy needs whenever they ask for it and whatever the Indian government decides. Pranay Upadhyay joining me on the broadcast with more details on this. Pranay, this comes in as a very crucial move, but one also, and India also needs to, however, play with caution, because here is a president who just a few months back we had seen how he had been imposing tariffs on India with regards to its energy requirements being met by Russia, which was also a move that had been supported by the United States when the Russia-Ukraine war had in fact started. So yes, there is caution that needs to be executed and that needs to be kept in mind while executing this 30-day waiver, while executing Russian oil purchases under this 30-day waiver.
Good morning, Shreya. And obviously, caution needs to be exercised at every time. And, Government of India has always stated that our priority remains to ensure the energy security for 1.4 billion people. And therefore, since the United States has imposed sanctions on Russian companies like Rosneft, Lukoil, and Lukoil, and therefore the government of India has had contact with the U.S. government, and U.S. Treasury Secretary has also confirmed that a waiver has been issued for India to have a short-term waiver from those sanctions, because we do not want to expose our companies who are dealing with other international companies as well to expose to these U.S. sanctions, and therefore it was required to have contacted the U.S. Treasury Department, because India is one of the big energy importer, and also the oil prices in the international market are also fluctuating currently due to the ongoing West Asian crisis. And the permission, if you see the permission which covers involving the Russian crude oil and the petroleum products that were loaded onto ships before 5th of March. And these shipments can, as per them, these shipments can go ahead and sell oil and deliver oil, but that is only specific. The sanction is only, India-specific waiver, and only allowed to these Russian ships to offload the oil deliveries to Indian companies. And this rule applies only to the cargo that had already loaded before the deadline of 5th of March, and this would end, as per this notification, this would end at around 4th of April, so 12 OM. So this is the situation, and definitely this is required, because to fulfill India's energy security, India's energy requirement, and India is a huge buyer of oil. And therefore, we have diversified our oil sources and oil supplies. And even if, you see the previous statement put out by the Ministry of External Affairs and also by the Ministry of Petroleum, we have always maintained that the priority for the government and priority for the petroleum companies is to ensure the energy security for people of India.
Very true, Pranay. At the end of the day, however, when we look at this very situation, there's one thing that's very clear. US still wants to fill in that gap and wants India to increase its oil buy from the United States, be it directly from US or other sources. Like, in fact, initially there were conversations when the West Asia war had not started. There were conversations about US pushing forward for Venezuela to become a major source and replace Russia in that energy equation that we have in terms of in the trade that we have between the two countries. So at this point of time, yes, while Russia has been called in to step up and help the situation, and Iran and the US has in fact given a particular waiver, 30-day waiver to India, end goal still continues to be for US to fulfill energy needs for India at this point.
Yeah, I would say that the United States have decided to help India as a strategic partner as well, and this is a very ironical situation. The same president, as you mentioned, was calling out India for the oil purchases, and the situation has come that now his own administration, had to approve the Russian oil purchase for India. So this always, this also indicates about the India's engagement with these international partners, and also, as I mentioned, that the priority is to ensure the energy security for the people of India. But having said that, this is an irony that currently whatever United States or the Trump administration might be saying, but currently, given the West Asia disturbance or West Asia conflict, US, even with the best of their intent, they are not being able to fulfill India's energy requirement, and that's why they have to give this kind of waiver. And we have seen in the past as well, you will recall that during the Biden administration, the previous US administration also, they in fact nudged, or rather, asked India to go for this Russian oil purchase because they wanted to stabilize the oil prices. Because if India, start buying oil in bulk from these countries, then obviously it would have an impact on the international oil prices as well. Because India is the third largest, the buyer of oil, and therefore, to ensure the continuous supply of oil and energy needs of India, there has to be a diversification of our oil basket that we have ensured.
Right, Pranay. Pranay, do stay with us.